Hello, beautiful beings. How are you doing today? I think I have this all set up and working wonderfully. If you can't hear me for some reason, let me know. Otherwise, welcome. I'm so looking forward to our time together, and I'm so excited to be here with you all today. I'm coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee, and it's hot out and it feels amazing in the steamy humidity. And hey, Shelly, it's good to see you. I'm getting in the hang of this YouTube thing, I think. And yeah, I'm feeling really happy and grateful to be alive here today. So what I'd like to do is just start again with the card for the week, maybe two cards for just the collective. What is it that we most need to know? What is it that's wanting to sort of come forth and be present, both to support us and yeah, maybe for us to be aware of in our life these days for the next week to come. I don't know about you guys, but it's intense, it's chaotic, it's full on. And yeah, and it's also a miraculous time to be alive. Especially when we can come into a space of surrender and just riding this amazing river of life and of light. So I'm going to just take a moment and pause and just see what it is that wants to be drawn, what deck wants to work with us for this first sort of just check-in, collective check-in. Okay, get the sense I might pull three cards. The first card I'm going to pull is going to be one of Doreen Virtue's Ascended Masters cards. These are very simple and yet often offer a beautiful and powerful message. So what do we need to know for this next coming week? What is going to support us right now? What is it that we might need to know? All of us joining here live or by the recording. Hmm. Interesting. This is a card that I don't always get completely. It's Serapis Bay, and the words are go now. And so to me, this is about don't hesitate, take action. It also really relates to look at what you're staying in and what you're in that is no longer serving you. Now, unfortunately, I think a lot of us are in these places of some stagnation at different areas or different places in our life where it's like we want movement, we want things to go, we want things to flow. And at the same time, we're not able to make that movement. We're not able to make this change. So when I see this go now card, right, this is this sort of Egyptian master who's here to like sort of help us shift, or Persian master that's here to help us shift the energy. We can't sort of struggle against what we're locked into when it's not divine timing. So it's not about like, oh, like I'm supposed to go now, but there's no escape or there's no doorway or there's no gateway. We really want to allow ourselves to be present with what is and give ourselves over to that surrender. And at the same time, I think there is this sense with the go now, if there are places that we can have action, if there's places we're holding ourselves back, or keeping ourselves in place where there actually could be movement, there is a gateway, or there is a potential or a possibility there, then we really want to take that step and make that movement. And so this is a time for perhaps harnessing the energy and for stepping forward and moving out into a greater space and greater way. So I definitely invite you to do that. And yeah, know that that is for the collective. It's time for shift. So where can we make shift? Where can we leave what is no longer serving us? Where there are the gateways? And where can we open to greater flow and greater energy? And where can we leave that which no longer serves? So the next card for the week, I'm going to be pulling from my Rider-Waite deck. This is my old deck. I've had this deck for 30 years. It was used by someone else before me. Okay. What do we need to know? What is the theme for this week? What is the theme for this week? Hmm. Interesting. This card actually relates a lot to that Serapis Bay card. It's the tarot card Strength, but it's in reverse. And when we see it in reverse, it's not about like forcing energy. Sorry, I want to get this in the camera. It's not about forcing energy, but it's about really opening to the energy, right? And not just, I don't want to say not just being kind. When strength is right side up, it's all about holding this higher vibration and trusting that things will be okay. We want to like tame the lion with love. We want to open into that space of love. And I just love it because in reverse, it's sort of again like where I feel like we're at right now as a collective. In the reverse, it's like, well, we want to tame that with love. We want to move forward with love and compassion. And it's like, oh, but it's not easy. All our shit is coming up. All the chaos is coming up. All the stuff is coming up for us, right? And so that tells me that there's more of that same, right? There's going to be more of that sense of, oh, I'm ready to move, or I'm ready to make these shifts, or I want this just to all be part of the divine plan. And yet I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling connected with it. And I'm perhaps even feeling a little bit constrained. Um, so when we look at it with this Go Now card that also came up, the sense is don't be afraid of action. So it might not just be like my loving, open, unconditional heart, but where can I find some movement? And where is it? What are the practices I can do? Or what is it that I can bring in to create more movement or to create more flow? And so it's not forceful action, but it's like, where are you being called to stand up for yourself, to speak up from a centered space, not from a space of the mind, but of the heart? And where can we also come to acceptance that there are some places we can't move and there's some places that we are feeling sticky? And how do we find peace with that? And then I'm going to pull one more card. Again, this is just for a general interpretation for the week. Okay. And I just want to say hi to everybody that's here. I see your question, Shelley, and I also know there's a question from dear sweet Amanda, who is listening in but unable to access chat. Okay. So what is another beautiful insight for this week? What do we need to know as a collective? Okay. Okay. I love this. So this is one of the animal cards, and this is Swan. And to me, Swan is finding peace in the heart, finding peace in love, the unconditional love, and going with the flow. It's where can we feel the resistance that's happening that we've seen in the other two cards? And at the same time, where can we find a gentleness? Where can we find a peace? And where can we settle in? And this to me talks a lot about rest and nourishment, especially in nature. So where can you get out in nature? So I'm in Nashville and I'm lucky there's quite a bit of nature here. But if you're in the middle of a city, like can you get to a pool? Can you get your feet in water? Where can you go to a place where you can just soften and settle in? And what are the things that can cool that energy down so that you can come deeper into that unconditional heart and unconditional love? So even with a little bit of challenge and stickiness that's present for us, it's like, how can we come back to the heart? And there's no reminder that's better than nature for that, for allowing us to ground and to settle and to come in. So yeah, so it's great to see you, Shelley. We have Shelley in Edmonton. Yay. And her question is not super specific, but what's just important for her to know right now? And Shelley is someone I've worked with a lot in the past. She's actually a dear friend, colleague, and we've done lots of readings as well together. And so I am going to pull from our good old favorite deck, the Rider-Waite deck. And then I think I'm going to pull a crystal energy card for you as well today, from a different deck I haven't brought in. So I'm going to just clear the cards first, and feel free if you're watching and if you have a question, just to put it in the chat box. Be very in-depth or very simple. Okay, and just clear these cards up first. And then connecting with Shelley's energy. And just asking, what does Shelley most need to know right now? What are the most important things for Shelley to know right now? So Shelly, I just get a big chuckle almost like they're like laugh, like where can you find joy, right? And I see your heart and your smile, right? And there's something about embracing joy that the guides are bringing forth and asking for right now. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I'm going to just go with 3 cards I'm going to pick actually 5 cards. I'm going to read them quite quickly for you. But I see a shift coming for you soon, Shelly. This actually feels great. I know how you've been held for some time. So the number one thing is 4 of Cups in reverse. So this is all about dreaming it in, manifesting. You might have even gotten this card a couple weeks ago. But this card is saying it's time for some action. So if you are called or if there's an invitation, move towards it. There might be an invitation coming for you in the next couple weeks. I would say 2 weeks to 3 weeks for sure. We'll see, but soon. And don't hesitate to act on it, to move on it. This is going to offer you an opportunity to step into greater abundance and prosperity, or at least in a sense of safety. It's finding maybe home again. I know we've talked about you finding a new home or coming into a new space. I don't see a big move or anything like that necessarily for you yet, but there's something that's bringing the space of connection, perhaps greater abundance or prosperity, or it's like, oh, I've got my feet on the earth. I can trust in this more physical realm right now, and things can come in. And then this card is the card I saw, right? Like I didn't see this card, but this is the energy that I saw. And this card is the 3 of Cups, and it's the energy of joy, of play, of connection. So open to that, open to opportunities for that as well. There might be a meeting with someone you haven't seen in a while. There might be an opportunity to connect in some way, but I see more joy coming in for you. And with that, we've got the 9 of Wands in reverse. You don't have to keep looking over your shoulder. You can relax. There is sort of a sense of the structure dissolving. There's a sense of everything that's been in play dissolving, and there's a big exhale coming. And then the major arcana card is the Emperor in reverse. And I love this, right? Because the Emperor to me is Saturn. It's a lot of Saturn energy. It's a lot of tightness. It's a lot of constriction. Keeps you on the path, but he's not making it easy, right? And so in this card in reverse, it's like more peace, more joy, more flow, the heaviness, the constriction that's been sort of keeping you into place, that's been telling you like, just go this way, go this way, go this way. It's coming to an end. And so my sense is there's going to be an opening for you of some sort, an invitation for you of some sort. And it feels really good. So I'm really curious. And this might be something really simple, but it actually feels very profound. So I definitely keep your eyes open first for the invitation, and don't be afraid to make action or to take action. And the card that's going to be supporting you for all this, I'm going to pick a crystal card. I don't work with these cards very much. They're from Maya Toll, who is my herb cards Maya Toll. And I love them dearly. These are crystal cards that I don't work with as much, but I was drawn to bring them out today and to work with them. Okay. All right. And the card that's going to support Shelly, what energy does she need? Ammolite, better with time. So Ammolite to me, it's that swirl and it's that sacred geometry. It's the energy of sort of the ancient coming into light. It brings in the energy of sort of the Shiva circle. I'm not going to remember the right name for it, but it's like all about divine timing. It's all about divine perspective. It's bringing the old and ancient wisdom to light. It's bringing the energy of transformation, and it's trusting in the timeline. So this too speaks to me that there is a shift coming, and to just keep trusting in it. all that wisdom that you carry, all that wisdom that you hold is truly coming in alignment right now. It is coming into force. And I see the sacred geometry of the magic that you work with coming into imprint into the physical world. So very, very powerful. And I love in this card, I'll send you a picture of it closer, but in this card, there's a lot of sacred geometry. There's a lot of color. It's the universe birthing through you in a very, very grounded state. Ammonite is also a very grounded stone. So it's like bringing that energy of light into the physical realm. So very powerful today for you, Shelly. Very powerful. I'm really excited. So the next question is for Amanda, and Amanda is in Ontario, just outside of Kingston, Ontario, and it's wonderful to have you with us. And I'm going to answer your question. You had texted it to me earlier today. And anyone who's joining in and just watching, feel free to leave a question, say where you're from. Feel free to sign up and subscribe. I'm going to be offering a lot more wisdom on human design and other different things soon. So if you haven't subscribed, feel free to, and feel free just to ask a question. So Amanda, let's tune in first. What cards do I want to use for you? Her question was just any guidance for the rest of the year, similar to Shelly's, like, what do I need to know now? Amanda, I don't even know if I want to go that far as the year. I think I want to go the next 3 months probably for you. And then if something comes up for further, we'll follow that wave. So for Amanda, I'm going to pick 3 cards for you. I might pick more than 3, but the first card is from the Doreen Virtue Ascended Master deck, just a general feeling, what guidance, and I'm just going to clear these cards first. And then tuning into Amanda in Kingston. What guidance does Amanda most need right now? What will support her? What will bring her energy? What will bring support and light for her and through her? Okay. Who's here to help her? Buddha. So meditate. Your daily practice is so important. Grounding the vibration, grounding the self, coming into greater connection with self, and giving yourself that permission to slow down and to settle, especially to quiet the mind. Trusting in the flow of life. This isn't even about manifesting. This is about settling. So daily meditation, even 5 minutes, coming into that space of embodied awareness. Even if I were to work or recommend a meditation, I wouldn't go with something for you with this card for transcendental or something that's taking you out of the body, something that's bringing you into deeper awareness on the belly level, on the soul level, something that's bringing you into space of the here and now, and that will calm the mind. So very powerful, Buddha. Okay. Then I want to pull some of these Rider-Waite cards for you. And again, I'm just going to do a quick clearing of the cards. Okay, so what does Amanda need to know for the coming months? Maybe to the end of the year, but we'll look at for the next 2 to 3 months. What does she most need to know? So Amanda, the first thing that comes is as much as you can be in your body as possible is going to be really helpful and to support you. Knowing that there's a grace and a joy in the body and that there's a space for you to really feel more at peace with whatever unfolds or however life is unfolding. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, I think I'm just going to go with the one card here, and then we're going to pick out some more. You got a major arcana card right away. It might be a little scary. I think this is where the meditation is going to serve you. And I think this has a lot to do with patterns, especially patterns on an emotional level, an ancestral level, and of coming into just a greater connection with self. And this is the Devil card. And so I don't see this about being overeating, over drinking, getting in unhealthy habits. I think there's a sense of greater work for you to be doing and that you are doing right now. And just for those of you that are watching, I do know Amanda, so I do know a little bit of her process and what's been going on for the past few years. But in the sense of the continued growth and process of growth, remembering that these patterns that you've been working with so much, so many of them are illusions of the mind or constructs that are keeping you chained into your own space and your own place, and that you aren't necessarily you're not chained there, you're not held there. It's more, again, the mind, it's more the fear in the body, it's more the nervous system, right? And I think this is where the Buddha card comes in so much, is like the presence, coming into presence, doing the meditation, coming in the space is going to allow you to lift these chains, right? It's going to allow you to lift that energy. Now, Devil is not just bad. You could have a lot of fun these next couple months, right? And it's not, none of the tarot cards are bad, but it's like, it's not just heavy, or it's not just this work with your patterns, right? There could be a lot of passion. There could be a lot of fun. There could be a lot of desire and excitement too, right? And so give yourself over to those. In fact, I would encourage you to give yourself over to those, because part of the patterning is, again, holding yourself chained to what life's supposed to be like, or how it's supposed to be life, or what you think you should do, or how you think you should be, right? And what things should look like. And so it's like, as you go over to those states of more passion, more desire, it allows you actually to get out of the head and to take these chains off. So this is something that I would invite you to look at the fun side of it, and then not be held too in tight or too ingrained to the idea of like, oh, I'm stuck here, or, oh, I don't know how to get out of this, or this pattern keeps running the show. How can I take that pattern off? And so then the answer that comes is meditate, get in the body, get in that space, call in the help from Buddha, work with mindfulness, work with practices in that more deep and sacred way. And I think the next card I'm going to pick for you is going to just be an herb card. And this is going to be more for support and nourishment. What support and nourishment can we call in, or is here and present for you? What does Amanda most need support in the next 3, 4, 5 months? You're going to like this one. It's plantain, and the word that comes with it is rewild. So plantain to me, first of all, is about soothing and nourishment. There is a purification. It's about pulling out the poison. So the poison of the patterns, the poison of the mind, the poison of the intellect, the conditioning, right? And yet it's very soothing as it does it. For those of you don't know, you can like get stung by a bee and mash up plantain and put it on as a poultice, and it pulls all that poison out. It's also a little astringent, right? So it's trying to wake you up, and it's trying to get you to look around and see what else might be going on, or what else is asking for your attention. And so you probably have plantain on your land. So I would even say on your land, can you look around and find anything? It might be worth it to make an oil or a poultice out of it. It might be worth it to make a tincture out of it, right? So that you can work with it. A tea probably wouldn't taste so good, but something that you could work with and call it into being. Rewild is, again, it's a letting go of the patterns. It's a letting go of the imprints. It's a letting go of the condition. And where can you come back to a version of yourself? And this goes along, I'm going to take it back to Amanda. I don't know if you saw the beginning of the episode today, but when we're talking a lot about being ready for shift, being ready for move, and yes, we need to leave what's no longer serving us, whether it's patterns, whether it's this or that. And yet, we're also in a real holding pattern. Like life isn't making it easy, right? And so this is like when I see this card or this plantain card and the idea of rewild, it's also about letting go of the idea that our mind thinks it knows what's best, that our experience of who we've been before thinks it knows what's best. And what's it like to let it all go and come to a space where we can like dance in the wonder of the unknown, where we can dance in the ickiness of some of the stagnancy or the fear, and where can we open to like the present moment and the wonder of it. And what is it that's wanting to be birthed through us and move through us? Because that's truly where we're at right now, right? We're at a space of total disintegration and shift. And so this is inviting you to like dance into what is, not into what has been. So I hope that makes sense. And yeah, I hope that makes sense for you. Okay. Any other questions for anyone that's watching? On other broadcasts, I've had lots of people come in. Today, we've got a little bit less people, and that's totally fine. But if anyone would like to leave a question, feel free to place it in the chat box. And I'm going to sit for a moment and see if I want to draw a card for myself or not. I do. So while you're thinking about whether you want to ask another question, I'm going to pull an herbal card for myself. I'm going to clear it first. And if no one else comes in and asks a question, then I'll close after that. And my question is just, what do I need right now? What can bring support to me right now? First, I'm going to bring it clear. Okay. And what do I need to know right now? What can bring support for me at this time? Oh, I like this one for me. So it's resurrection. It's California poppy, which is one of my favorite herbs. And it's got an owl and a beautiful moon, right? And it's the new moon. So it's like embrace the dark, right? Embrace the death, embrace what's unseen and embrace what's dying to be born, right? And I really am, for those of you that know me, I am in the space of a big death. I have been for quite some time, and the birthing is beautiful and it's still very incomplete. And so I love the energy of opening to the unknown and embracing and continuing to surrender to the dark and surrender to the wisdom that is lying there in the fabric of the velvety unknown. In California poppy, to me, very powerful plant, very powerful herb, very nourishing, very supportive, very good for the nervous system, and really, again, bringing me to a place of like, how can I get that deep rest? How can I surrender? How can I be held? And I don't want to say open into the dream world, but again, for those of you that know me, I've been very connected to spirit all my life. And part of this death is coming way more into my body, way more into the human realm of things. I'm a stepmom now. I'm dealing with a lot more of the human experience, and yet still very connected to spirit. And this is like sort of reminding me too to go into that dream world and continue to open to it as much as possible. And I'm doing that daily with my practices. I've actually just opened back up into the Seven Seals practice from the Gene Keys. And if any of you are familiar with it, just super, super powerful. So yeah, I honor that card and that wisdom. Yeah, let me see about Sam, Shelley. I don't think I'm going to pull a card right now about that. I'll just check in. He has been so present, and I was surprised when he didn't come to me. Okay, so the first thing that comes was the picture of the Queen of Wands card. And in this picture of the Queen of Wands card, let's see if I can find it. There's the woman with the black cat sitting by her on the throne. And so just know he's there, know that he's present as you continue to open into your power, and make these shifts and makes these changes that are so clearly coming for you. He is right there and you can call on him at any time. I feel like he is more present than he's been in some time. You've done the work you need to do without him. And so he's there, right? Like he's there for you to call on. This is that Queen of Wands card that came up, right? So it's embodied creativity and awareness and spirit. And he's there. He's by your side. And I'll just see if there's anything else that's coming through. Just that you'll be seeing a lot more of him. You'll being a lot more of him. Okay. He's there to work with you more now. All right. Any other questions or any other comments? Anything anyone wants to share? Feel free. I'll give it another minute. And then if not, we'll end the broadcast. And I will be here next Tuesday at 2 Central Standard Time. And yeah, like I said, I've got a bunch of different things in the works. It's just finding the time and the energy to create them. But there'll be more coming from me soon. So thank you all so much for being present here today. It's such a beautiful honor to share with you. And I wish you the most beautiful and wonderful day. Let's open to that flow of unconditional love, accept the stagnancy that may be present, and also move and find action where there is that clear space too. So much love and namaste. Bye.